As you can see, there's plenty of fun things to do here at Space Camp in Florida. Behind me is the Space Shuttle Discovery Simulator. This is where the space campers go inside and actually simulate the launch of a space shuttle. It's a lot of fun. Right over here, they have a mock-up of the Spacelab Module, which is carried inside the space shuttle to do various experiments in science. Let's go inside and take a look around. Now inside here, the students get a chance to practice just like the astronauts do when they're really in space inside the Space Lab. Right here is a biomedical section. Now in the Space Lab, this is where they would find out different things about the astronauts that were actually up in space doing the different research projects. There's a lot of different things here, an ultrasound indicator, hematology studies, electrolysis, analysis, a ventilator, all the things you'd find in maybe a doctor's office so that they can continually monitor the health of the astronauts while they're in space. And they will have a device very similar to this when they put the International Space Station up so that they can always monitor the health of the astronauts and cosmonauts that are up in space. Next to it here is a computer console, and this computer console, it has a direct link to the weather satellite so that they can bring up weather anywhere in the world anytime they want to, and also bring up other information anytime they need it. Right over here is one of the favorite spots of the astronauts. This is what would be called the galley in the space shuttle. This is where they prepare all of their food. Various dry storage up here. Here's a microwave, a convection oven to heat things up. This is a dispenser. They can dispense hot or cold water to rehydrate some of the dehydrated things. Other storage here, a dishwasher which comes in handy, and a refrigerator freezer. And when they're all done, right here they can stick their hands in these holes and actually wash their hands when they're finished. Works out really well. Over here is some research stations. This is really important research station here. This is a cancer research. They analyze cell tissue samples and things and do a lot of different research that would be done to help cure diseases all over the world. This is a mock-up. The students here at Space Camp would practice different simple experiments, and the astronauts would actually do these experiments to help further the cause of science and research, medical research on Earth. Here's another station here where the Spacelab astronauts would actually do combustion studies. They would actually ignite certain gases and liquids to find out how they flame, how they burn. This is in preparation for in case there was an accident aboard the space station or aboard the Spacelab module itself. They would know how to treat that particular hazard, and they'd also know how to fight fires better on the Earth, and a little bit more about combustion. Right here is what is called a glove box experimental station, and what they do here is they have two little holes on either side, and what you can do is you can insert your hands into those holes and do experiments with gloves that would deal with poisonous gases and things that you wouldn't want to be released inside of the space lab. This is self-contained, so they can observe through a window here and do the experiments with their hands and keep the whole experiment self-contained. Over here is an electronics workstation. This here is a voltometer. Any instrumentation that would malfunction, or if they'd have any problems with anything, either in the space station or in the Spacelab module itself, this is where they could test the components and try and fix them. And the people here at Space Camp, the kids who are involved in the projects, have to do various tests with this meter just to find out how to use a voltometer and also to prepare them for what the astronauts actually do in space. Next to it here is the personal hygiene station. This is a small unit where the astronauts could go in and take a shower. It also has a toilet facility. This is where they can clean up after a hard day's work. This particular unit does not function for the space campers here, but at least they get a chance to see what it's like and see how the astronauts actually keep their hygiene up on a daily basis. Over here we have some of the packets of food that the astronauts would actually eat. The Space Camp personnel here, the students who are here, actually eat real food here on Earth, but up in space they have to take dehydrated food, and all they need to do is add water to it. Here's some scrambled eggs, various things, shrimp cocktail, they eat pretty well here, various other things. Those things would be stowed in the compartment I showed you back there, and they would be taken out and hydrated for food. For the mission. Over here is another computer station. This computer station is used by the space campers here at space, but up in space they would actually use this again to download information that was sent up from the ground, or they would put in their own computer programs for calculations on landings or any other calculations that they needed to do. Now here towards the back of the space lab is the sleep station, and what you see over here, this blue felt, is kind of a padded area, but there's also straps. The astronauts, when they would sleep, would actually go up against that and strap themselves in, and they could just sleep standing up, because you remember in the space lab or in the space station there's no gravity, so they'll just sit there and float, and of course they're attached down so they don't float away. And on the opposite side, the part that you can't see is a little TV monitor and a small computer where they can actually communicate with relatives on the ground or communicate with the people at Mission Control. And you can see there's just a lot of fun things here to do at Space Camp. And if you want more information about Space Camp, you can call 1-800-63-SPACE.